Join us in the kitchen today as we meal prep some really frugal yet delicious plant-based meals for our family for the week. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the High Path channel. My name is Rosa and I am the mama of our plant-based family of 7, and welcome to our very humble and very realistic kitchen. Today we are meal prepping. Now the next few days are going to be a little bit busy. We have a skate competition coming soon for the kids on Friday. Today we're going to be out all day today, so I want to make sure that I have food in the fridge ready and stocked, so whenever we need to go somewhere, we have food we can pack, or we can just come home to a home cooked meal without having to spend money out, buying expensive takeout. So right now it is about 9:30. I am planning on making quite a few pasta bake recipes so that we can, pasta is so easy and it's relatively cheap, of course. I'm going to try to make as many as I can today with the limited amount of time that I have, because we have to leave for lunch and we'll be out all day. So join me in the kitchen today while we meal prep and we'll chit chat a little bit. All right, let's go. So I've gathered a few ingredients that I really think would be good in a pasta. I have different types of pasta that I have here. I've got some shells, I've got some penne, I've got some flour for some muffins, and maybe some kind of loaf or something that I'm going to be making. I have some leftover bananas. I know I need to chop up some fruit. What else? Of course, I need to make something for Trey, so I have some quinoa that is going to be cooking as well. And yeah, let's get started on some fruit and chopping up. Because we're doing so many pastas today, I am going to kind of reuse this pasta water. So I'm going to cook some pasta in here, and then we're going to fish it all out. We are then going to just maybe add some more water if needed, and then cook the next batch of pasta, because I don't want to waste water and it's already going to be seasoned, so may as well use it. So I have this pot right here. It's going to be a large pot. I'm going to start boiling it, and I'm going to add some water, and then we're going to get started on the most easiest pasta, which is our pesto pasta. Before we get started, here's your friendly reminder to sharpen your knives. Just get one of these little knife sharpeners, run your knife through it before you chop, because you need to be able to be efficient when you're chopping vegetables. Usually when I am sharpening my knives, I like to do even numbers. So there's depending on what you use, there's different numbers, and there's 2, 3, and 4. So I like to just do even numbers on each passing, just so that we can get an even sharpening of the knife. And then when I'm done sharpening, I like to just rinse it off, because it can have some sort of metal residue from the sharpening. So before you start cutting with that residue, just rinse it off. Now I know I did say I wanted to start off on the pesto pasta, but I lied. I'm gonna actually start on the fruit, because I don't like to mix the oniony flavor and the garlic flavor of the vegetables, and I'm going to be chopping into the fruit. So let me just get started on the fruit really quick. Did you know that we used to raise worms just because of our we worm tea for any planting and compost? If you guys know, they make the best soil. We used to give them all of our watermelon rinds. They love this stuff. They will go crazy and breed even more to make more worms. So if you have some worms, just give them some watermelon. Whenever I'm doing grapes, I do like to make sure that we don't have any moldy grapes, because grapes do tend to get moldy quite often, and whenever I purchase them at the grocery store, I find one box with a couple of grapes. We just don't mess with mold at all here in our household. So if we just find one moldy piece, I will not feed that to my husband, just because he has been going through some issues with mold. Now recently I have been devining all of our grapes, because I find that it is so satisfying to just be able to pick up a grape and just eat it. Since we are leaving today, I am preparing these grapes for the kids, so I'm just going to put them in some Ziploc bags, and it's going to be nice and ready for them for lunch or for snacks whenever they need.
Next, I am going to prepare some grapes for myself and Trey. He really has been loving the green grapes. I myself really love the green grapes, and they are nice and crisp and crunchy, and we just love them.
Cool. Okay, while Mercy is here, I can work on other things. So I'm gonna do some banana muffin sort of thing before I do anything else. I got some coconut oil in my bowl already. I'm just going to mash the bananas in here, and then we'll make some sort of muffin. I'm planning on maybe doing like a banana peanut butter muffin. I think it's gonna be really easy and delicious. And try to get this melted as much as possible. I like doing muffins as opposed to, you know, a loaf, because one, it's easy for the kids to just pick something up and then just go eat it. One muffin is for one person, you know, instead of cutting individual pieces and everyone is fighting for, you know, I don't know. I just feel like muffins are the way to go. 10, 11. I'll try to do this as fast as possible. Honestly, the pasta is not going to take too long. Quinoa is not going to take too long either. I like to use flax seeds, ground flax seeds, for an egg replacement. It just kind of holds everything together. I'm not really going to measure it, but I have about 2 tablespoons here. I'm going to add some water, and it's going to start congealing as soon as we let it kind of sit a little bit. A quarter. Take that spoon out. Ooh, I almost lost my pasta. It started to boil almost over. That was close. But it happens. I got it under control, so that's good. Mercy, really? You always like to play with that. Okay, stir that up, and then you're gonna add the flax eggs, okay? I love having Mercy help because she is so competent in this kitchen. I can really trust her in doing many, many things, even cooking on the stove. So while she is working on the batter for our muffins, I'm going to start off on our pesto for our first pesto pasta. So our friends over at Kids That Shred organization, they gifted us this delicious bag of fresh basil. Oh, fresh grown basil. I love basil. Oh, I was so elated when they gave it to us because we've been trying to grow our basil in our garden this year, and it just didn't come up. And I think it was just because it was just too hot. We are very late, so we are so blessed and so happy that they gave us this bag because we can make basil pesto. We could make. I was thinking. I know this is like regular basil, but I have a taste for Thai, you know, the basil, chili, garlic, pat krapao type thing. If you know what pat krapao is, then you know it needs lots of Thai basil. This is not Thai basil, but that is okay. Figured I'm gonna give it a try. Maybe I'll do an experiment with some tofu. But let's just add some of this to our blender. Are you done? Okay, now you're gonna add some peanut butter, which is right over there. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to even deal with chopping up the stems. I'm just gonna put it all in. I think this is gonna be beautiful. Actually, well, this one is kind of thicker. Let me just cut the thicker leaves, or the thicker stems. Oh yeah, that's thick. Never mind. I think I have to like maybe the finer leaves will be fine. Keep putting it in. It'll come out. These stems were a little bit tough, so that's okay. I'm going to add all this in. We also have some leftover parsley that I found, which I'm just going to add to the blender because I need to use it up. And don't waste this basil. Mercy is still working on the banana muffins. Oh, I forgot to preheat the oven for you. And instead of pine nuts, I don't have that, so I'm just gonna add some sunflower seeds to my pesto.
Pine nuts.
Huh?
Pine nuts.
Pine nuts is pine nuts.
I need some, please.
And a few cloves of garlic.
I want to put this in here.
No.
Along with the garlic, the basil, and the parsley, we're going to add some olive oil for some cheesiness. I've got some nutritional yeast, of course, and some salt going in. We're just going to blitz this up until it's nice and smooth. Oh, and I added a little bit of water just to get it going.
I'm going to recycle this pasta water, of course. So I'm going to add about a half a gallon's worth of water just to top it up. And let's start boiling it for the next pasta. And for our pesto basil pasta, I'm gonna add some cherry tomatoes just for some added color. Get the Mercy, I want you to taste test that really quick. The pesto. I don't know if you can see this, but it's nice and thick. It smells delicious. Oh, yeah. Mercy. Oh, I can't wait. Let me just taste it. That is outstanding. Pesto is so good with the basil. Oh man. Put your hand there. Pesto pasta is done. All right. I still need to finish working on the banana muffins. 2 big squeezes of apple cider vinegar. Go. And get the flour. Do we have flour already open? If not, then I'm going to open a new one.
Yes.
We have one open. Then baking soda for some rice. Oh geez, okay. Here. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Mercy is going to continue to work on the muffins. She's adding some sunflower seeds while I am working on a pasta sauce for our next pasta. I have some onions, some bell peppers, just some red bell peppers, and I'm gonna saute that down a little bit.
I have some field roast sausage here. This is plant-based, of course, and this one is a Italian garlic and fennel sausage, which I think is very fitting for the pasta that we are making. So let me decase these. I don't even know if that's a technical term for taking it out of the casing, but it makes sense to me. Mercy is working on the muffins. I think you can fill it up just a little bit more, Mercy. And then we can bake that 350, 30 minutes. Very simple. So these sausages, I really love the flavors. Now it does have sort of like a, because it's soy free, and it is made of like wheat gluten, so you can kind of taste that little, it's a little bit weedy, it's not like meaty, but it's still really, really good for a plant-based replacement for sausages if you're looking for it. And since our shells are rather small, I'm gonna cut these sausages kind of small too, just so it's easier to eat.
Why is there potatoes in there?
Oh man.
We have fished out all of our little medium shell pasta into the very same pot as the sausages and peppers. We added some seasonings, onion powder, paprika, salt, of course, and we also ladled in a couple of ladles of pasta water. For some extra creaminess, I did add a little bit of coconut milk as well. And since we're making pasta like this, I want to make sure that we over sauce it, because whenever you're making pasta, the pasta will always absorb all of that liquid. For a little bit of cheesy umami-ness, we're also going to add some nutritional yeast. And I also have a leftover bag of some broccoli slaw that I'm going to throw in as well for some extra fiber and veggies.
This pasta is ready to go. It looks beautiful. I'll give you a close-up really quick. Is it good? Of course you do. I'm gonna get started on my quinoa. Now we've soaked this. It really helps with digestibility, so we like to soak it overnight. And then we are going to just add a little bit of water. We're gonna let it steam and do its thing for about 20 minutes. And then we're gonna add some sort of sauce or something. Not sure what we're gonna make yet. I usually like to make like a quinoa salad type thing with just a very nice garlicky lemon or lime dressing. But we'll see what we have in the fridge.
To cook my quinoa, I just filled it up with a little bit of water. I am seasoning it up with some paprika, onion powder, and salt, and let it start boiling up.
Right now we are actually working on lunch because the kids got hungry, so we're actually just making some spaghetti. And I think we'll just use a leftover pesto that we have, you know, may as well. And over here we also have our quinoa going. It is boiling. Once it boils, I'm going to cover it with a plate because I don't have a top to it. We are then going to just let it steam. We turn off the heat. We let it steam for about 20 minutes or so until it's nice and fluffy and done.
I have a pot in the background with some spaghetti, and then now I'm starting some vegetables. So I've got some frozen broccoli and frozen peas. Did you know that peas are actually considered a legume, or it's kind of like in the bean family? It actually has quite a bit of protein in it. I did not know. Initially, I wanted to roast these in the oven at a high temperature, so I'm just going to add that into the oven. Now, I can see that the muffins are ready. We are going to test it with a chopstick, and if it comes out clean, then it is ready to go. All right, it is clean, so we are taking the muffins out.
Plans for our pasta because we don't have that much time. I'm actually going to add our frozen broccoli and peas into the pasta. Emmanuel. And then it should cook slowly in the sauce itself. So I have Mercy just adding the peas into the sauce. It's going to slowly cook. Stop! Stop! Who's tickling me? Isaiah, stop it. So put that in. Stir it well.
We're going to use up the remaining pesto that we made earlier, so we don't want to keep this for too long. It started oxidizing, so I definitely wanted to make sure we use it as soon as possible. So that's why we are using it right now. This pasta or this spaghetti, I actually did not drain because it looked like I needed that water for this sauce. So I just kept it in there. We are adding pepper. Now it looks like Emmanuel is really wanting a lot of pepper in this, so he just kept going and going. For some cheesiness, of course, we're going to add some nutritional yeast in here, even though we did blend up the nutritional yeast inside of the pesto.
Alrighty, our quinoa is here. I am going to keep it really simple today because we're running out of time, literally. So I've got some red onions. I'm going to make a very quick dressing for our quinoa. I'm going to, let's chop up some onions. So this is going to be for the sauce. So I've got some onions finely chopped. That's going to go in here. This is where I'm going to shake up all of my ingredients. I've got some red cherry tomatoes that I'm going to add into the quinoa. I've got some chopped up cilantro. I found that Trey really likes this sort of, it's kind of like Thai inspired. If only like if we added some fish sauce, it would be basically Thai inspired, or like some toasted rice too. It's just, we use a lot of herbs in Thailand. I actually spent about 7-8 years of my very first years as a baby, as a child in Thailand, and I actually used to speak Thai. But then, of course, we moved to Taiwan, and I lost it because I didn't really have anyone to speak to in Thai. And of course, you just lose the language whenever you don't speak it. Maybe one day I will relearn it, but for now, I can say "Sawadee ka" and "Khop kun ka," thank you, and hello. I see myself as Thai just because I did grow up there first. My family was very international. We are not military or anything like that. It's just that my dad had business everywhere, and so we just moved a lot. And I definitely do miss traveling a lot. But you know, now we have the kids. Traveling is expensive, of course. And so I don't really get the chance to, but maybe one day we'll go back to it. So very simple. I have some chopped up garlic. I have all of the rest of my ingredients in here in my little shaky bowl here. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Of course, I'm going to also add maybe some olive oil, and then we will just toss it in here. It's going to be very, very simple. It's going to be herbaceous and delicious. Now I've also made it with like bell peppers and things like that, but yeah, I'm not going to do that today. Why? Because I don't really want to. So I'm going to get some olive oil. I'll be right back. Give it a very aggressive shake. Oh yeah. It's a sauce. The quinoa is nice and fluffy. You see that? It's beautiful. I'm gonna add this dressing. I'm gonna add half first, and then we'll toss it, and then we'll add the rest because I want it to be nice and even. You can smell it. I love this so much. And this is so simple to make. If you want to add anything else in here, if you want to just bulk it up, add some chickpeas, some spinach, anything. I'm just gonna keep it plain. Trey likes it this way. I'm just gonna leave it this way. I think it's good. It needs salt. Quinoa does require a lot of salt, so make sure that you're seasoning it well and mixing it well, and that's another meal. Alrighty, everybody, meal prep is done. It is officially 12 o'clock right now, so it took about, 2.5 hours? That's not too bad. We have plenty of food for the next few days or so. We, of course, may cook during the week as well, and then we also have some like fruit that we can eat throughout, and lots of really ready-to-go meals for the kids to eat. They could just grab and go. Everything is done. I really do love meal prepping. Just sometimes it does take a little bit of time to get it done, but once it's done, honestly, once you get the meal prep done and out of the way, you can eat and not have to worry about cooking for the rest of the week or the month, however you like to meal prep. I hope you got some inspiration from this video. We would love to know what you think in the comments. Of course, we are always going to be there chatting with you guys. If you are new, we would love for you to subscribe, and we will see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.